Okay, so this is just a quick video on how to increase the rate of your mewing progress. Basically, you're just going to need to address a lot of other problems you may have before you start mewing. If you can't mew correctly, then you probably have other problems, underlying problems, such as your body, neck, and skull posture. Posture is kind of a confusing topic for some people. I'm going to make a separate video on addressing just posture, and specifically because it's not as superficial as many people make it seem. So the way I address my head was just long chin tuck holds, like long, almost like an isometric hold, rather than reps. If you think your head position is correct, then just look in the mirror. If your ear is pointing straight, the ear hole is straight, and your ear isn't pointing up, or is it angled? For example, here is your head. If your ear is pointing straight, then you're good. If your ear is angled up, then you probably have an underlying posture problem. Okay. Palate width is the next thing you're gonna have to address. I used thumb pulling. I did it for a couple months. It worked pretty fast, but you have to do it gently. The way you know if your palate width is good or not is if you could just fit your tongue on the roof of your mouth and it not feel crowded. If you have enough room to spread out your tongue, then you're good on palate width. Tongue flexibility. Can you touch your nose, and can you touch the bottom of your chin with your tongue? If not, then you're going to need to work on that. Lip seal. Essentially, you're probably, if you've been mouth breathing for a while, you probably don't have a good lip seal. I didn't, so at night you're going to need to mouth tape, so you can only breathe, so you don't return to your old habit of mouth breathing. So that's what I recommend for that. And then, so once you've addressed all these problems, you need to start activating the back of your tongue. I don't recommend mewing if you can't breathe. If you can't breathe while mewing, just don't try doing it. If you can't mew without exhausting your tongue, I don't recommend doing it without I don't recommend trying to do it throughout the day, because you just need to focus on other things before you try to mew correctly. So what I did was I just had as many AMRAP, which means as many reps as possible, but you can make it 100 or 200 reps where you just try to activate the back of your tongue, up and back. So yeah, high rep mewing is just for activation, just so you can get used to using the muscle in the back of the tongue. When I was doing this, I couldn't breathe while mewing. So then you're going to need to start doing, once you can activate the back of the tongue, you're going to need to do hard mew reps. Hard mewing is basically when you apply a lot of pressure. I kept this really low, and it wasn't to build strength in the tongue. It does build strength in the tongue, but I was mainly trying to lift the maxilla up as much as possible. That way I could breathe while mewing. And then you're also doing high rep chin tucks at this point. So earlier, when you're fixing your posture, I recommend holding your chin tucks, and then high rep chin tucks. So like holding it for, I would say up here, when you're fixing your overall body posture, I would say for 5 minutes. Work up to that, and then high rep chin tucks I recommend working up to hundreds of reps. And then sleep with mouth tape, because if you mouth breathe at night, you're just going to reverse your progress, and you probably are if you can't mew correctly. How long will it take? It just depends on how long you've been mouth breathing, and how messed up your skull is. So it's really dependent on the person, and your age doesn't really play a big factor. Obviously, mewing when you're younger is better because you're still growing, like when you're a lot younger. But as an adult, 18 and up, I think it just depends on how long you've been mouth breathing. And for me, I didn't start mouth breathing until high school. And then I wanted to address basically what it means, what gravity's effect on your skull is, because this is basically the main reason why mewing is important. So if this is your skull, a correct skull has a maxilla that's essentially has grown forward. So your eyes are looking straight, and your bite is correct all because of the maxilla. And when the maxilla is up and forward, then your mandible grows forward. I mean, Dr. Mew talks about that. And your gonial angle is going to be correct as well. And everything back here, it's going to be a lot flatter because since you have a forward grown maxilla, you don't have to look up to see what's in front of you. Now let's say someone had a maxilla going down like mine. So that's your maxilla. That's just the maxilla bone, like the angle that it is pointing. So how does the skull grow around that? Essentially, the mandible is going to get sucked back up. Like that. And the bite will eventually get messed up as well. So the teeth, everything will go backwards. So teeth will be back here. Like that. And your eye will be looking down in the correct posture. So what you have to do is pick up the whole head in order to pick up the head, and then you get this shape. So the eye is here, this is maxilla, this is mandible. So in order to see straight, you pick up the whole head, and what that does is the entire skull is going to look like an alien head, and it's just not right. So you have to fix that before you even address your tongue strength, because like I said, if the maxilla is down, the eye follows with the eye, where the eye is positioned, or at least it's going to look, your eye is going to look more sunken, like the mid face is going to get stretched out, because maxilla is going down, the whole nose is going to get stretched out, and the eye is going to get pulled down this way. So everything's it's essentially putting yourself in a position where you age faster than you should. If everyone participated in mewing, then I think everyone would age a lot slower, and lots of benefits would come along with that. What else? Yeah, that's it. Alright, thank you for watching.